PowerNation Under the Hood is brought to you by Grundy Collectible Automobile Insurance.
Have you ever had a moment that stopped you in your tracks? You know what I'm talking about. You think a celebrity just passed you by. I like what I'm looking at. I'm talking about the car here, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, good to see you.
Yes, sir. Man, y'all brought in a peach today.
It's the Outlaw. Yeah, this is Outlaw. This is our prototype VIN number 1 of a 25 car run series we're gonna build.
Man, this thing is impressive. I know, like, it has that Eleanor flair to it. And, you know, seeing that movie back in the day, or seeing that car in that movie back in the day, it made an impression on me. And I'm not really a Mustang guy, but that moment, I said, I could be a Mustang man for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and that's what we kind of figured was, you know, if we're gonna build an Eleanor, you know, let's build something that's not what everybody else has done. And that's why we went with the Brittany Blue, ton of the customization. I mean, the thing's right-hand drive. We put a glass roof in it that we patent designed, the roadster spec in the back. I mean, we really wanted to set it apart from just another Eleanor.
I've had to work on a few of those kits myself, and some of them, quite frankly, suck.
99% of them. Yeah, you know, the fiberglass does suck. Luckily, we have a good crew of guys that know how to work on it. But as far as getting back to the Eleanor goes, you know, we had one guy tell us that, you know, there was a Shelby, and then the Eleanor came, and that was overly done, and there hasn't been something since. And this has kind of brought in that new light. So we didn't go with the Eleanor side scoops. We actually went with the 68 KR Shelby side scoops. We created our own deck lid and rear end caps. And we also did the same thing with the hood. We ended up running a steel hood so we could actually make it fit the way we wanted it to. And of course, going back to what you're saying about, you know, the Eleanor itself, you know, 99% of them being kind of thrashed, it's because the body fitments are crap on them. If you could see what we built here,
our intention
was
nice.
Rolls-Royce fit and finish. That's the original steel bumper to the car too that we just welded to and made it fit the way it does.
You guys did a heck of a job on that. The lines are tight, smooth.
Thank you. We figure if you're gonna have your name on something, you're gonna build something, it's gotta be right, or don't do it at all.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. That's true. I like the back piece of this thing.
Yeah, so what we ended up doing was we took a T-Bird tonneau cover, and
Like, what year T-Bird? Just curious.
It's like the late 60s.
Oh, okay.
The good thing about this is when we ended up patent designing it, you could actually take that out and you still have your rear fold down rear seat in the back. So if you want one day a 2-seater, next day you want your kids in the back, you're absolutely able to do so.
So is there a seat below that?
Fold down underneath it, yeah.
Wow.
We really wanted to give it that futuristic style. I mean, the side scoops, especially if you're looking at it from the back half of the car with the side scoops that protrude out, and then the Roadster spec itself kind of protruding up in the car, really everything kind of flows really nicely. And on the T-Birds themselves, we always thought, man, that just looks real spaceship style, airplane style, and we thought that was an awesome thing to add to the Outlaw. And keeping with the old school interior, you know, with the old school door panels and the stainless, those look like window crank knobs, but they're actually power windows. We didn't want to go ahead and modernize it so much to have buttons, but we wanted to keep that old school, but, you know. So you just pull them up and you pull them down with the switches and the windows go up and down.
That's fine until you get somebody in there that doesn't know and they put that old man handle on it. And you're like,
well, they are billets, so it'd take a lot of pressure to do it. But
yeah, hopefully it wouldn't happen. Can I sit in it?
Well,
absolutely. This is going to feel odd. And I know I'm a little bit fuller than you guys are. I guess that's what I'll say.
It is a tilt column, so if you want to bring the steering wheel up, you can.
Yeah, that's a little smaller. Not gonna lie, it feels kind of weird. Yeah, power shifting this dude's gonna be a little different.
A little bit.
Yes, sir.
Being such a custom car like this, we ended up doing the GT500 font in the 2013 font, and then the MB obviously stands for Mustang Brothers. So it's also those little things where you don't necessarily see it at first, but as you're walking around the car, you're like, oh wow, here's that, and that's kind of what we wanted to achieve. You're finding more and more things.
That's one thing I really like about the car is sometimes guys like go into, let's say, a custom mindset, and they basically screw up what the car is supposed to look like. Like, you're just supposed to elevate it in a way, complement the build, not make it into something that it's really not. Right. And you guys knocked it out of the park. Like, you've refined it for sure. What's the actual color?
So it's actually the 2022 Ford Brittany Blue Metallic. I wanted to kind of go with the old school version of the Brittany Blue, But then when I went ahead and saw this color, I'm like, wow, if we just toss a little bit more metallic in it, I think it would bring that in the modern light.
It's nice because in some lights, we have this thing on a turntable, and when it spins around and that metallic hits the light just perfectly, you see a little even bit of purple in there too, which is nice.
Yeah, and it's like baby blue and silver and has that
Yep.
purple cast to it.
We certainly weren't going to go the gunmetal gray that the Eleanor was.
Right,
And
right.
we wanted something that was going to be appealing to men and women themselves. And this car here,
It's kind of a neutral color.
Yeah, it pops very nice.
Is the stripe on it, is it a Ford color stripe?
Yep, so that's actually the original Shelby stripe color. And what we did was we went ahead and painted that and then cleared over it. So if you run your finger over that, you can't feel an edge.
Yeah, that's Wimbledon white.
So there's probably like 7 or 8 coats
8
clear
coats
on it.
clear. Yeah. And the underside of the car, we did that too. So we cleared the underside of the car, and then we flipped the thing over on the rotisserie, and then I had my crew wet sand and buff the underside of the car too. So the underside of the car is just as nice as the top side.
Yeah, there's a labor of love been put into this thing for sure, guys. Gotta ask, what's up under the hood?
I'll show you. So we took an engine out of a 2012 GT500. It's a 5.4 supercharged with a 6-speed, and we dumped it on in there.
We ended up going with the tribute to the GT40 colors with the Argent style blower and then the grabber blue valve covers. We really love that old school look, and we wanted to modernize that into this as well.
So all it has is basically just a tune. It's factory. Makes a little over 600 horsepower.
I'm not gonna lie to you, fellas. Looking on this side and not steering a steering shaft is kind of odd. Like,
Or a brake booster.
yeah. I thought there for a second. I was like, oh, maybe it's on the inside of the header. Then I was like, idiot, it's on the other side of the car. It's got a lot more room in there than I thought it was going to.
Well, we did the shock tower delete, so we actually cut the shock towers out. We welded in the cradle, and gave us a lot more leg room here, especially to clear on any Coyote platform. You got your alternator issue that's close, so we were able to get rid of all those issues and really open it up inside here.
And this cradle here actually is able to lower the engine itself 3 inches, so you're able to fit a supercharger underneath this hood, even on a factory hood.
Yeah, we didn't have to go with the Eleanor style. We could have ran a flat hood and it would have been complete sleeper.
Right.
Yeah, I was looking at the line here on the top of the fender and the windshield. That's not factory, right?
So we had to do that to put that windshield in there. So this whole operation here was a month in itself to do. And a lot of guys, when they do it, you end up with a huge gap. You can stick your finger between here. And
Was
we
it
didn't want
filled
that.
with trim? Is that what it was from
Yeah,
the
so
factory?
Exactly,
the original
yes.
window trim would have came wrapped around here. Well, now we actually had to add all the steel up here and then add up to the fender up here. And a lot of guys, when they build cars, door edges and stuff like that to tighten them up, and even stuff like this, they'll Bondo it up. Not a big fan of that, because if somebody goes to open up the door, accidentally hits the edge of their door into something, you got a big Bondo chip on it. We make all of our lines out of steel. It's all welded up. This way, longevity, this car will always look like this years down the road.
You know, flush mounted glass is one of them things that people see it today in every car, vehicle, or truck out there, and they just kind of really just take it for granted. But when you try to make flush mounted glass in an old car that isn't supposed to, it's hard to comprehend how much time it actually takes.
Basically have to make the body fit the window itself. There's only one company that makes the front rear windows for a 7.8 car, and we really had to make the body itself fit the glass.
Yeah, it comes pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's individually your most favorite thing about this car?
That it's finished. That it's here. No, I mean, I think the best thing about this whole build was, working with my brother. We're just kind of an unstoppable team.
Give him a hug for that, boss.
We are the same person, being twins, and we just work so well together. I think the best thing that's ever happened was we were able to share the same passion, because we work fluently with builds like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. I mean, we had a dream, and you wonder how it can really become to reality, and then you work with a great group of guys like we did, and then to see it done, there's really no better feeling that you can kind of tell than that itself, seeing a dream come true.